Hi, everyone, and welcome to tonight's class. I'm Lisa Lizotte.
I'm Stephanie Linton.
And we are talking about fasting for beginners because Stephanie and I recently started fasting for health reasons. I started fasting because I was experiencing anxiety and just overwhelm and a lot of brain fog. And why did you start fasting?
Okay, so I wanted to be able to think more clearly because I have 4 little kids and I need to have like a sharp mind.
Yes. And I experienced that too. I was like high alert, like
Yes.
I could get a lot of things done. And it was surprising that when I was fasting, I thought I was going to lack energy, but it was actually the opposite. And it was like a surge of energy and it was like a boost. And it was like I'm like the Energizer Bunny. I'm still fasting. And I've actually had a great experience with it. How about yourself?
I was really surprised at how easy it was. I think the main thing for me was like getting my mind in the place where I wanted to do this.
Yes.
And I could do this. And once I started, I was like, everyone needs to do this. This
Yes.
is amazing.
Yes. And I'm going to talk about mindset in the last part of the class because mindset is the number one thing that you have to get on top of first before going into this, because a lot of people, they start thinking about fasting to lose weight and they start thinking about, oh yeah, I just want to lose weight. But honestly, weight loss, it can be a good reason, but only if it's like a health reason, like only if you need to lose weight because you have like some serious health concerns. But your why has to be really sharp. You have to it's got to be, I don't know, your mindset has to be there because it gets hard. It's hard in the beginning.
Yeah.
Was it hard for you?
Yeah. Well, I was used to being like a midnight snacker, or like when my kids would go to bed, I'm like, okay, now it's time for me to, have my mom snack or whatever. And I'm like, nope, you know, and you have to plan ahead of time for your food too. Or like, oh, I can't just, well, I'm not going to talk about that yet, but that was me. Like you have to plan ahead of time.
Well, and it's all of those little things, like we're moms, we're cooking for our kids. So while we're cooking for them, we're like, oh, we'll just take a bite or we'll just try it. Well, as soon as you do that, you kick in your metabolism and you get out of ketosis, which ketosis burns your fat, metabolism burns your glucose. So once you take a little bite, you automatically go into metabolism. And so a lot of it is like really staying sharp, that you're not being super restricted, but you're also being super mindful. And I really have enjoyed being mindful about my food. And I actually look forward to eating.
Yes.
It's almost like a celebration.
It is.
And I don't take it for granted. A lot of us Americans do. We take our food for granted. And so when I sit down to eat, I'm like, oh, I'm so thankful for this food. I'm really enjoying it. And I've also noticed that I'm fuller so much quicker. And a lot of people will say, oh, are you worried about binge eating? I can't binge eat because it makes me so uncomfortable to eat more than my stomach can hold.
Right.
So I've had a great experience from it. And I'm going to share a little bit more about our experience as we go through. I'm going to share some slides with you. And if you're not experienced with, let me share the slides. And here we go. I'll just go back to that, share. Okay, here we go. So if you're not experienced with fasting and what fasting is, some people think, oh, you're just starving yourself. That is not the case, okay? This is, and I forgot to put these slides in here, but if you want to talk about it, fasting, it has a biblical foundation.
It does. It does. And not just like Christianity, it's all throughout Judaism and even in some Eastern religions.
Yeah. So fasting, the people of ancient times knew how beneficial fasting was. And the term breakfast, how we say breakfast, that's kind of like a Southern way of saying it. It's actually breaking the fast. You break your fast. So breakfast or break fast can happen at any time of the day, but we've kind of coined that term to be in the morning time. And it was actually the research and the origin of that word and how this morning breakfast time originated is really interesting. So go do some research on that to begin with. But anyway, so let's get back to the basics of what is intermittent fasting? So intermittent fasting is when you determine a certain pattern of eating. And this can vary from person to person. So you're fasting, meaning you're abstaining from food for a certain amount of time, and you're eating for a designated certain amount of time. And like I said, this can vary from person to person. Some people will fast for 14 to 16 hours and then eat for 6 to 8. And some people like me will do an entire day of fasting, a 24-hour fast, or actually it's actually a 23-hour fast because then I eat for 1 hour. What about you? What have you been doing?
So I just started this like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
I'm like a brand new intermittent faster.
Okay. I've been doing it since Thanksgiving.
So Lisa's more a pro of the beginning parts of fasting. But in all of my research, I really saw a lot of health benefits with just the 16-hour fast with an 8-hour eating window.
Okay.
And so that's really where I've been at it. But I'm very intrigued and want to get to the goal of doing like a 24-hour fast, or even maybe one day when I don't have all my little kids, like do like a 40-day fast. Like I just think if Jesus did that, like, man,
yeah,
like that's just really inspiring.
Yeah.
And how much mental clarity could you get from that? And how much just feeling grounded,
Yeah.
you know, like with your purpose in life, and you're not just always caught up in what's my next meal.
Yes. And like I said, it's all in your state of mind, and a lot of overcoming those thoughts mentally, because we're so used to just shoving food in our mouth all of the time. And there's just so much health benefits to fasting. And I'm going to cover that in the next couple of slides. So let's break down what actually happens during fasting. So when you abstain from food for a certain amount of time, your blood glucose, so glucose is created, we basically thrive off of glucose. Anything that we eat, carbohydrates, it all turns into glucose. And so when we fast, our blood glucose goes down and our insulin levels go down. Okay, so then that's when, some people, they think when they started fasting and abstaining from sugar and carbohydrates, they started getting a headache. Well, that is your body readjusting to the lack of insulin and glucose that it's been thriving and running off of for months and years. Okay, so your body is getting used to running off of the stored fat and the stored energy inside your body instead of the ever fed glucose that you're consuming. So I put on here, I forgot to change the little tags at the top. It says blood glucose goes down, then it goes up, then it goes back down. That is not what it's supposed to say. It's supposed to say your ketones go up, and I'll share with you what ketones do in just a minute. So at the top of that second, right here, the second arrow, it's supposed to say your ketones go up. And then plus your body fat goes down, okay? So glucose goes down, your ketones go up, your body fat goes down, and what does that equal? It equals improved overall health, okay? You get mental clarity, you get energy, metabolic health, and cellular repair, which we're going to cover in the next couple of slides. Okay, so first of all, what is ketosis? It's a state of, what is a state of ketosis? Ketosis is a process that happens when your body doesn't have enough carbohydrates to burn for energy, all right? So then ketosis sets in and you start burning your reserved fat cells. And trust me, we all have plenty of it. So instead, it burns the fat and it makes things called ketones, which it can be used for fuel. All right. So people who are healthy, not people with diabetes or people that are pregnant, they usually go into ketosis after 3 or 4 days. So that's why when you start fasting or you start abstaining from, or not, I don't want to say completely abstaining, but when you start cutting back on sugars and start cutting back on carbohydrates, that 3 to 4 day window is the hardest because you're not in ketosis yet. Your body is still fighting. It's still saying, I'm craving, give me the sugar, give me the carbohydrates. It's still you're actually trying to teach it, retrain its habits. You're teaching it new habits of what it needs to feed off of, because it's been feeding off of this glucose and these carbohydrates all of this time. So that's why your body goes into shock the first 3 to 4 days when you start fasting. Okay, so we're going to talk about the benefits of fasting. And I have 10 benefits that I found, and I found these off of healthline.com. You can totally look up this article and read it. It's there. All right, so number 1, you start changing the function of your hormones and your cells and your genes, which I think is totally cool, because we all, we talk about hormone disruptors all the time, products that we're exposed to. So once we start fasting, we are improving our hormones and our cellular function. Okay. Number 2 is it can help you lose weight, which we have seen. Losing weight has been a byproduct for why we even started. We did it for mental clarity, for, to get rid of the brain fog. And because of that, I mean, I've lost 13 pounds. How much have you lost?
I lost 6 my first week.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
I just lost 6 pounds. That was really easy.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's really cool. But like I said, it's okay to do this for weight loss, but you have to find a greater why. Your mental well-being is, in my opinion, the greatest why to do this. Okay. And to just have self-control over your food is the greatest gift I could give myself. Okay. And the second benefit of fasting, it can reduce insulin resistance, and it lowers your risk for type 2 diabetes. Now, type 2 diabetes, we all know, is, when we're more overweight, we're more exposed to, we're consuming lots of carbohydrates, we're, creating a lot of glucose in our body. So when you do that, you're balancing that out, and it really helps you to prevent your risk of type 2 diabetes. The next one, it can reduce oxidative stress. Okay, we talk about this a lot with our essential oils. Oxidation, think of a banana on your counter. What happens after a couple of days? It starts to break down, it starts to get brown, it's oxidizing, it's exposed to oxygen. Okay, so when our cells are exposed to toxins and exposed to cigarette smoke and alcohol and just lots of things that are harmful to our cells start to oxidize. And just like the banana, it starts to break down. It doesn't have this pretty roundness to it anymore. It has it just looks really ugly. Okay, like a rotten, kind of like a rotten apple is the best way I can explain it. So fasting gives your cells, because our cells can repair themselves if we give them an opportunity. But if we're continuing to feed them with junk, we don't ever give ourselves time to rest and repair. So this gives your cells, the opportunity to repair themselves if they're, not having to combat all the junk to go with it. Number 5 is it may be beneficial for heart health. Okay, heart health and heart disease is, we all know, is the leading cause of death, especially among women. Okay, so it's immensely beneficial for us to see that and to know those facts, and to be, even more willing to get our life and our health right, because we don't want to have that kind of disease in our life. All right. Number 6, it induces various cellular repair processes. And I just told you how it repairs our cells. It gives it an opportunity. Our cells can repair themselves. Okay. Number 7, it may help prevent cancer. Well, anything health-wise, anything that's good for you is a step in the right direction to prevent cancer. I mean, anything, even running or walking or using better products, all of those things all go together to help prevent cancer. And this is just one thing as well. Because what we know about cancer is that cancer is basically your cells gone rogue, and they can't repair themselves. They don't have an opportunity to repair. And if you give your cells an opportunity to thrive, then you're just living an even more optimal life, health-wise. Okay, number 8, it has benefits for your brain. Well, we can attest to that. Think of it all of that sugar it's not being exposed to. You've probably heard of how you don't want to give your kids who deal with ADHD lots of sugar, and the same thing is for adults. It is a stimulant. It is an addiction. It is you're always thinking about your next meal and your next way to get that fix. So it's really it helps you mentally because you're giving your brain that chance to just cleanse itself. All right. It may help prevent Alzheimer's disease. And like I said, that brain health. And the last one is it may extend your lifespan and helping you live longer. I mean, all of this, anything, like I said, anything health-wise that's pushing you towards a healthy life is going to help you live a longer life. All right, so I'm going to jump into, okay, so what does fasting look like? So like I said, fasting regimens and patterns can range from person to person. In the first box right here, and you can find fasting schedules by going on Google and just searching, okay? See what's best for you. See where you want to start. I am not a doctor. I'm not giving you health advice, but if you decide that you want to do this, then go and seek out, if you feel like you need to talk to your doctor, do that first. But if you're just someone like me who's healthy and who just wants more, mental clarity, then you are perfectly capable of researching this on your own. All right, so the first box is where you fast for 16 hours and you eat for 8. This is something that Stephanie's doing. Do you eat the entire 8 hours, like here and there, like snack, or?
I try just to have like 3 meals in there, or 2 meals. So 11 a.m. like on this wheel that we have, this time clock. 11 a.m. would be breakfast, 2 o'clock would be a snack, and then 7 would be dinner. Or I think that it doesn't, I'm sorry. So that's 7 o'clock. So for me, like I try not to eat after 6:30.
Okay.
But they're saying on here, 7 o'clock would be like your next meal time, I guess, your last meal, right?
So you would start your meal at 11, and then you would stop eating at
Stop at 7.
7.
Okay. Oh, it says meal at 7.
Yes.
Okay. But that's about what I do.
Yes,
but mine
doesn't show it accurately.
So mine is, I try to eat by 6:30. So like I am done, even in mom world, like by 7, because nothing happens on time in mom world.
No, it doesn't. Okay, so this is a great place to start. And I'll share with you how I started when we get to the end. And then you have the next one is where you fast for 14 hours and you eat for 10 hours. So this is just examples. And this is the one that I do, the 1 meal a day. So 1 meal at any time of the day, usually lunch or dinner. For me, I don't do just 1 meal a day. I do a meal at the beginning of the hour that I choose to eat. It's usually at lunch because I am hangry with not really hangry because I never feel hungry. I just need that support to deal with my kids sometimes. And so I just eat during that time and my body's gotten used to it. So what I do is I have my meal at the beginning of the hour, and then I have a snack, something that I love because I don't want to deprive myself from the foods that I love. I have it at the end of the hour. And so that's how I do it. Some people, they just have the 1 meal at the one time and then they fast for the 24 hours. I actually fast for 23 hours and then eat for the hour. And then you also have where you can do different schedules for the day. So where you fast for 5 days and you eat for 2 days, or you fast for 2 days and eat for 5. So there you can do different schedules. All right, so then this is also an example of an alternate day fast. So day 1, you eat normally, and then you fast for 24 hours the next day, and so on. So there's lots of different plans out there that you can choose from. All right, so we're going to toss it over to Stephanie because when I was talking to Stephanie about doing that, I was fasting, she said, well, I'm doing a class on using essential oils for fasting. I'm like, okay, well, tell me what oils to use. And so she's going to talk about this oil that I've been using, and I shared it on social media recently, and a lot of you were interested in what we're using. So I brought the guru on to tell you all about Young Living oils and supplements that you can use to help you while you're fasting.
So I've got to back up why I started fasting in the first place. I was studying for a cellulite class, and I found out about this little gem. It's Sleek Essence. Is that the next slide? Yeah, maybe.
I don't think so.
Okay.
But we can go to it.
Okay, let's go ahead and get to Sleek Essence and we'll go back to the one. So I was doing a class on cellulite, and when I was doing that, I found how amazing Sleek Essence was to help clean out your cells, your fat cells of toxins. And I was like, that's amazing. And then I was doing some more research on what is in Sleek Essence, and I knew it did all these things that are on the slide, but I didn't know that it helped you to detoxify fat cells. And so when I was doing that, I was like, the other thing that I learned was about how you could incorporate intermittent fasting to really help detoxify those fat cells to rid your body of cellulite. So cellulite is a great little mirror for you to know what's underlying in your health. And so I was like, that was my other thing. I'm like, I want mental clarity, and I really want to just clean out fat cells of anything toxic that might lead to disease later on. So that's really how I started it. And I taught this class like 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, I really need to do that. Lisa does this. I need to try it out. And so that's how it even got started. That's why I'm like a newbie at this. But let's talk about Sleek Essence. This suppresses food cravings. So this would be really helpful if you want to do intermittent fasting like we're talking about. This suppresses food cravings. So I started using this, and I just put a few drops in my water, and it really helps me not have food cravings because of the oils that are in it. It helps aid your digestion, so you're not feeling sluggish, like everything is digesting as it should with a healthy metabolism. It balances your blood sugar. I have used this for my husband when he gets hangry in between meals. He's the worst for working really hard and forgetting to eat. So when he gets like that, I'm like, come here, honey. So I keep Sleek Essence in my purse with me in my oil bag because it has ocotillo in it, and ocotillo, the plant, is known for its blood sugar balancing properties. And so immediately putting this like right on his tongue, it calms the beast, and all is happy again in the land. So it triggers also feelings of fullness. So you're not eating more than you need to, you're eating just enough. And then it also reduces pain and swelling. So if you fight inflammation, this would be really good to combat that naturally. And like I said, it's also a powerful detoxifier of fat cells. The recommendations are just to put like 2 drops of this in your water.
I just put like 5.
I'm like, and they say just to do that like once a day or whatever. I'm like, every time I refill that water, I'm like,
Yeah.
So I really think this one's yours. It's pretty heavy.
Oh, well, I just used
we got
yours.
our bottles. Oh, girl. Because the only reason I say that is because I'm always like, I'm like, that one's a lot heavier than mine.
Yeah, and I just started using mine.
So
what I want to say about inflammation is that sugar is known for causing inflammation. And so when I was fasting, I completely got away. Like I detoxed from the sugar and I had no sugar cravings at all. But when I went to a meeting recently, I had some sweet tea, and oh my goodness, I felt so fatigued and so terrible.
Yeah.
It made me not want to ever eat it again.
It gives you the jitters
It
too.
does. Once you detox from it and you introduce it again, it has a completely different effect on your body, and it really makes you not want to consume it.
Yeah.
So
let me tell you real quick before we pass that to the next slide. Just let me tell you what's in this one real quick. We have grapefruit, tangerine, spearmint, lemon, ocotillo, and stevia is in here. This is one you do not want to put in your diffuser because it could gunk it up with the stevia, but you can put it on your skin. You can put it on the back of your neck. You can put it on the inside of your wrist. You can put it, on the sides here of your neck. But what we do is we put it in our water. So just know that, or if in an emergency, put it under your husband's tongue.
Yeah.
Or your own.
Okay, let's go back to the beginning.
Okay.
Essential
So
Zymes.
Essential Zymes is amazing for helping you to break down food. Our food is so void of enzymes.
Yeah.
Because it's so processed
Mhm.
and it's missing a lot of raw fruits and vegetables. With that, that's harder. If you're not consuming a lot of raw fruits and vegetables, it is really hard for you to break down glucose, for you to break down protein, for you to break down dairy. And those are a lot of things that we eat as Americans. So Essential Zymes is amazing for helping you to break those things down. These can help you also to fight illness and to reduce or block the development of life-threatening diseases because your body's able to process food. And in that, it's able to put more energy towards helping to repair your body in other areas instead of just What is it?
You always
Processing
influence me.
You want this, don't you?
My friends always influence me. Like, I want to add this
You
to
can
my
have some
monthly
right
order.
now.
No, I'm going to add this to my order.
Let me tell you.
My friends always influence me.
Okay, 2 things about this.
Just my friends, though, not everybody else.
If you don't have a gallbladder because you got it removed and there's certain foods that
Oh
you have
my
to
gosh,
stay
I'm
away
so
from,
irritated with
you need Essential Zymes 4. That's what these are called. And we
gallbladder
call them,
removed.
in the Young Living world, we the street term is E4. So these are the E4s.
E4s. You need some E4s to break down your food.
But it's great for helping you, like if you don't have a gallbladder to help you break down fats, you're like, I wish I didn't eat that because you don't have a gallbladder anymore. You need E4s.
Okay, so you cannot, so you should take this when you eat, when you fast. Don't wake up in the morning and do your supplements.
Oh yeah, do it with food.
That keeps in your metabolism. So
swallow them.
To eat them with food. So don't take your supplements before you eat because then that kicks in your metabolism.
Okay, here's another thing. So I know a girl that's like a Barbie, but she loves to eat sugar like candy at nighttime while her kids are sleeping. And I asked her, I was like, what's your trick for that? Like, and she said, I always keep Essential Zymes 4 on hand because it helps break down bad stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So it helps process sugar. So if it's like maybe that time of the month and you're like craving sugar or whatever, maybe this is not even about you in this fasting class. This is just hitting you where you are right now. This will help you break all that stuff down. So you're not going to take too many of these, but it's recommended that you take 2 with your meal.
Okay.
And you can take it says take 2 capsules 2 times daily with your largest meals. So whatever your 2 largest meals are, and if you're fasting, like Lisa, she would just take her 2 with her 1 meal a day. For me, I'm doing the 2 meal a day thing with a like snack. I'm going to take them with my breakfast and my dinner, right? Yeah. And that's what they look like. They're little blister packets. There's a yellow and there's a white one. They do have some certain directions, like say for instance, you ate a really heavy, like rich protein meal, you can just swallow the yellow capsules. Those are loaded with enzymes that help break down protein more than just like fruits and vegetables or whatnot. So, but when in doubt, just take the 2. You can take a yellow and a white, but notice that they are different.
Next one.
Okay, I'm sorry. Motivation.
Motivation.
So I don't know where my motivation came from. I just to start fasting 2 weeks ago, other than I started diffusing motivation oil. And that's why this is on here. If you lack action and the feeling of getting something done because of overcoming fear or procrastination, this will help you. It helps to purge toxins from your liver that are hanging out there and they're holding you back in life. So this is really good for being very calming. It also restores confidence and it improves concentration. So I love this oil so much. Just quick testimony, my mother-in-law, she hates to clean her house. Every Monday is her cleaning day for her house. And she always puts motivation oil in her diffuser because she says it gets her off her butt and gets her like cleaning her house. She was like, Stephanie, I don't know how it works. Well, I tried it with my housekeeper and she said, Stephanie, what is that oil that you have in the diffuser? I cleaned your house like amazing, you know? And I was like, I mean, don't you always? But she said, it was whatever that oil was. I just felt so different. Like as soon as I was in here for a few minutes and I told her, I said, it was motivation. She said, can you always make sure you have that in here? Our house isn't horrific. We keep it pretty clean, but she just noticed a difference when she was cleaning her house that time. So anyways, those are the things like if something's holding you back and you're afraid and you're like, I don't want to start this. What's going to happen? You know, this oil will help you.
Yes. And just like what do you call it when you, I don't know, a lot of oils, not just this motivation. So if you don't have motivation, just grab your oils. A lot of oils do a lot of different things. They're multifaceted. Peppermint is my go-to for like some like pick me up go-to. I rub it in my hair, use my hair as a diffuser. So when you're saving up for this oil, use your other ones in the meantime.
And you know what? Okay, good point.
Disclaimer,
on this.
That's what I meant to say.
I never buy this oil.
You get it for free.
I get it for free and I cash in my points. And I'm like, because I told my housekeeper, I'm like, I'm not buying that. And I just zeroed out my points like on giveaways recently. So anyway, I always get it for free. So when you see the price tag, you're like, get on Essential Rewards or what is it? Subscribe
and save.
Yeah. Okay, what's in this? Here we go. I'm sorry. Roman chamomile, black spruce, ylang ylang, and lavender. So if you have lavender, put it in there.
All right, here we go.
Okay, nitro. Oh, nitro.
This is like if you don't drink coffee, you do nitro. I don't drink coffee. I can't drink coffee. It makes me really, really jittery. I'm very, very sensitive to things, and they affect me very much. So.
Okay, let me quickly tell you about nitro. It's right here. They come in these little tubes. Don't give it to your baby. They help fight detox fatigue. So after you start detoxing, whether it's from intermittent fasting or whatever the protocol is, you're going to notice that you hit like this wall. Keep going, keep going. That is the detox response of your fat cells releasing toxins that they've been holding on to. So how do those toxins even get in those fat cells, Lisa?
I don't know.
Your liver filters them out and doesn't know what to do with them. So it always like sends them to the nearest fat cell, and it's holding on to it until, I don't know, the year of Jubilee or something. But this is when it starts releasing it, when you are fasting or doing whatever kind of cleanse you're doing. So if you're doing a cleanse and you're like, I feel awful, I feel fatigued, I have so much brain fog, just keep pushing through it for like 2 weeks, and then it will be like amazing. So this helps fight detox fatigue. It helps increase alertness. It also supports your performance levels, and it increases your energy, endurance, and aerobic activity. And here's a little plug, because Winter Olympics are going on. It's also used by Olympic athletes, and it helps speed up recovery.
Awesome.
I love nitro.
I love nitro too.
All right, spice tea.
Okay, I have been using this tea and loving it, loving it. I love spicy stuff. I love chai. And when you're fasting, you get bored with water. And the Sleek Essence is great, but I like to change things up. And I don't drink coffee, but you can drink coffee when you're fasting, just black coffee. But somebody actually gave me this when I organized their house. And so I was like, okay, I'll try it. And I love it so much. I love the spiciness of it, and it's great while I'm fasting.
I love it too, because it helps all the things that Sleek Essence does. But like, I'm like a coffee connoisseur. I need like a warm drink. And this is so perfect because it helps like just give me that warm feeling in my stomach. But let's talk about what's in it that does all the amazing things that Lisa's talking about and I'm talking about. Fennel. It's great for fluid retention. Now, I'm just talking about the plants themselves that happen to be in this tea, in herbal form and also in oil form. So let's talk about these plants. Fennel. It helps with fluid retention. So if you have a lot of like water buildup in your body, like people say, oh, that's just water weight. This is great for fluid retention, to let it go. It's also great for speeding up your metabolism. Hello. And then tangerine is also in there. Digestive aid. It also is great at combating obesity. We have cinnamon bark, which is one of the spicy oils in there that we enjoy. That's great for increasing your circulation. And then you have ginger, which helps support your lymphatic system, which is what I'm talking about, mainly with the cellulite. That helps to get all that stimulated so it gets flushed out of your body. Rooibos, this is one that protects cells from damage by free radicals. That's what Lisa was talking about. Oxidation. With fighting cancer probability later on. Black pepper is amazing for people who are obese because it does a lot of stuff for your digestive system and ridding your body of things that it's holding on to. Also helps with digestive problems. And it also is one of those, like if you have some kind of addiction in your life, black pepper is amazing for setting you free. So if you deal with like food addiction, this is amazing. Or like emotional eating. Like if you get really sad and you're like, I just need to binge eat. I need some comfort food. This black pepper that's in here is so good. Then we have turmeric. It helps to reduce depression symptoms. Also really high in anti-inflammatory properties. And then we have sarsaparilla. Thank you. It's a liver protectant. So we really want to protect our liver because it's the main filter for your body. All the blood in your body goes through your liver. Everything you put on your skin, everything you breathe in, all of that goes through your liver. So you really want to protect your liver. So that sarsaparilla protects your liver and it helps balance your hormones, ladies.
So you're talking about that full feeling. I actually feel very uncomfortable now when I get full, and I actually feel better and like more comfort when, I know this is gonna sound kind of crazy, when I have that like almost empty feeling. It's just, I feel clear and I feel clean and I feel just, I don't know, it's just really invigorating, and it's something that I always want. So I just wanted to.
I like that feeling too.
Yeah, I like that feeling.
It's a good feeling.
Yeah.
We talked about Sleek Essence. Multigrains. I don't have that one. I forgot to grab it off my shelf. But the reason we have this in here is because Multigrains is really great at giving you energy, but it's also really good if you are fasting. It's really essential that you give your body, when you're eating, really good food, especially in that raw form if you can. So multigrains is like a 24/7 organic, bioavailable salad bar. What do I mean when I say bioavailable? You're like, what is that big word?
Super technical.
Okay, so what does that mean? Bioavailability. That's a big word these days. It means that every single bit of what you just took in gets absorbed by your body and applied somewhere. So you're not just taking it in and it flushes right through you, where a lot of mainstream vitamins and supplements do, because they don't have that bioavailability. Because Young Living puts oils into their herbs and their supplements, it makes them extremely bioavailable. If you've ever taken one of Young Living supplements, you'll notice immediately, probably within like 20 minutes, that you can feel it going to work. You can also notice if you ever skip a day, you don't really notice because of that bioavailability. It's really, really amazing.
Very, very cool. So take that when you're with the essential zyme when
Yes.
you're eating your meal. Okay.
All right.
All right. So mindset, back to me for a little bit. I talked about mindset in the beginning. Mindset is key when you are fasting, because you are retraining and reprogramming your habits and your mindset towards eating and towards food, and using it for comfort and using it for, like, think about, like, you already have all of the energy that you need. You have the fat that's in your body that God created. And food is like, food is a state of mind. Okay. You are feeding your body. All right. So what does that mean? It means that you are being more mindful about your eating. You're not just like taking bits and pieces here and there, but you're actually, like, when you come to your food, you're celebrating, you're nourishing yourself, you're using it to sustain your life, and not just as comfort, or, I don't know, just out of bad habits. We're just eating all the time. Your entire being, like, you're completely mindful of your body, your emotions, your motivators, and even your fears. Okay, so let me tell you a story, a little, when I started fasting, this was probably the second week of fasting, like right after Thanksgiving time. And I took my, spitting everywhere. I took my boys to Gainesville, and they wanted to go to Chick-fil-A. I love Chick-fil-A, but it wasn't like, I had already had my mindset that I'm doing this, and my purpose was to have a clear state of mind, to get rid of the brain fog, to get rid of the anxiety. And I had such a great why that I sat in Chick-fil-A, my boys across from me, they ate their chicken sandwiches, they ate their waffle fries. Oh my gosh, I love their waffle fries with their Chick-fil-A sauce. And I felt so much control, self-control, and they offered it to me. I said, no, baby, I'm really good. I felt so good about myself, and I wasn't denying myself anything. It was just a matter of like overcoming that barrier and like telling my mind what it's going to do, instead of my body just like being led by, what do you call it? Your subconscious mind, where you're not even thinking about what's actually going on. You're just consuming without actually even thinking about it. So it's being super mindful, body, spirit, mind, everything is working together. Okay. So it also means that social norms, what I just talked about, being with my boys when it was lunchtime and they were eating, it means that social norms don't have control over me, and they don't dictate what I do. I was going, I had a get together with some friends, like on a Friday night. And I have a friend that actually does, she's really, really good at fasting. And she is coaching me through this. And I messaged her, I said, what do I do? Do I break my fast and I eat 2 meals a day? And she's like, no, you can fast more than 24 hours. And I'm like, are you sure? She's like, you can do it. And I was like, yes, I can. And I did. And I wasn't hungry and I wasn't hangry. And when the meal came, I wasn't like, I was just like really calm, and I felt good self-control. And it was just a really good place to be in. And I just would love that for everybody to experience that.
Goals.
It also means that you're already empowered to live a healthy life, but by deciding to live a healthy life, you are deciding, you are coming to a resolve of what you are going to do.
I wanted to add to that real quick. Back to like the cultural norm of eating, we love to break bread together. We love eating together. It's a very much like a social thing. Something you can do where people are like, are you sure you don't want anything? Like, bring some of these and put them in your purse, these spiced teas. and have some hot tea. And so like you're doing something with them and you're feeding something in you, where it's like you're feeling like the warmth of something in your belly,
Yeah.
but it's making that person that you're eating with or sitting
Feeling
with,
better.
they are not like so awkward.
Yeah, it does. And I will say that this can get quite awkward with people because they don't understand.
Yeah.
But just you let yourself be the example to them.
Absolutely.
Because what I do is like I have a friend that, or a couple of friends, and I'll say, I'm fasting during breakfast. And if we meet, is that going to be uncomfortable for you? And they'll say, oh yeah, let's go to lunch. And I'll say, okay, I can, I'm not fasting during that time. So just be upfront. Your friends want to support you.
Mhm.
Now you might have family that doesn't understand, and you just have to decide, and you have to handle this with care. And now there might be times when you just give into the norm. You just give into what the celebration. And I'm not saying be super strict on yourself. And like I said, you decide and you tell your body what it's going to do. If you want to do the every other day, then do the every other day. But go ahead and make your mind up ahead of time what that looks like for you. And don't let yourself fall into a situation where you have to compromise. Okay. It's like waking up saying, okay, I'm going to go exercise on Monday. And then you sleep in and you don't exercise. Like you go ahead and you have a resolve. You go ahead and look ahead of time. What's my schedule going to be like? And then decide when you're going to eat and what, how you're going to handle that.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Speaking of, we in this whole teaching, we are not telling you what to eat. That is up to you. That is up to you and what you research, whatever it is. But I'm going to tell you how I started. Okay, so first of all, I started by reducing my carbohydrates. You will find that when you're fasting, the more carbohydrates you consume, the harder it will be for you to abstain from food. So your carbohydrates that you eat the day before is going to make you hungrier the next day. So just keep that in mind. I highly recommend reducing your carbohydrates. So for me, I started out by just reducing my carbohydrates to start with before I reduced any meals or I spaced anything out. Then I started stretching out my meals. So number 2, so reduce your carbohydrates, including refined sugars. The next one is to stretch out your time between eating, between meals. So if you usually eat at 8 o'clock and 12 o'clock, eat at 8 o'clock and 1 o'clock. Then eat at 8 o'clock and 2 o'clock. Eat at 8 o'clock and 3 o'clock. Okay, then just play around with it, and then say, okay, my last meal is gonna be at 6 for dinner, and then my next meal is gonna be at noon the next day. Okay, then take it a little bit further, and if you want to write this down and chart it, then that's great. We're not telling you how to do it. We're just introducing you to the idea of doing it and all the health benefits to do it. Okay, the next thing is focus on your reason why and change your mindset. That is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Okay, and then be gentle with yourself. Okay, I fasted really hardcore for the first 8 weeks. I lost 13 pounds. And then I was like, no, I really miss hanging out with my family during meals on the weekends. I'm going to let myself, do a different schedule on the weekends. I didn't just say, oh, it's free for all. Because no, my why was so much stronger than my desire to just consume. So I was like, okay, I'm going to enjoy, meals a little bit more on the weekends. So I recommend that's a great place to start.
I think that's so important.
Yeah. So if you want to, obviously we sell essential oils, Young Living essential oils and supplements. And if you would like to get started with that, to add it to your regimen, to your routine, we have a ton of education that we provide on a regular basis. We would love for you to try out these products. So if you would like to, you can reach out to Stephanie or I, or the person that shared this class with you. And they would love to educate you and show you how beneficial these products can be for your life, the way that they've changed our life. So, all right, thanks for joining us, friends.
Thanks, guys.